I got to get to you and have you put your OpenAI hat on right now, because we saw twice this week pretty serious sell-offs when it came to all the AI stocks. It was like, the market is either greed or fear. And when we saw a couple of days of real fear, what is going on in the psychology of the AI world and the trade out there?
I think what's going on is there's a lot of excitement about AI. I think everyone knows it's going to transform the economy, from customer experience to software engineering to finance. And I think the excitement is authentic. And as a consequence, there's a huge amount of investment. And a lot of people are just wondering, are we investing too much too quickly? How is this going to pan out, particularly in the area of capital expenditures, data center buildouts, GPUs? I'm personally very optimistic. Like Glenn, we're entrepreneurs. We can't help be optimists. And right now the AI market is really constrained by the availability of compute, the availability of all this infrastructure. And as a consequence, I'm really excited that the world is getting around building out this compute infrastructure so that we can bring this transformative technology to everybody in the world. But just because the numbers are big and there's a lot of uncertainty in the future, I think we'll see some waves like we saw this past week. But just zoom back to the area when the internet was invented, in some ways you had some unhealthy companies like Pets.com being created. You also got Amazon and Google, and I think we're going to see something similar in AI, where you'll see some generational companies created and a genuine transformation of our society, and you also probably see some froth and some bubble-like behaviors as well. And I think both will be true at the same time.
Well, to that point, where do you see the bubble?
I think right now.
I want to answer that first.
Let's let Bret go. Let's let Bret go, and then Glenn, you can get in.
I'll say when you're so excited about a technology shift like AI, it doesn't mean that every dollar is invested intelligently. So I think two things can be true at the same time. If you get a sort of an index fund of AI from now to 20 years from now, I think that's going to be an incredibly great investment, just because I think AI will drive more productivity into the economy than we've seen for decades. On the other hand, on an individual investment basis, you might have some snake oil, you might have some unintelligent investment decisions. And so as a consequence, I think that's where you're sort of seeing it. I think you're going to see the excitement around AI drive investment and sort of almost covering the market with money, but not necessarily surgically. And so that's why I think you'll see some companies, have some hiccups, maybe even some companies go out of business. But I think broadly, when we look back 20 years, when we say, did this world of large language models and generative AI transform society, transform the economy? I think the answer will be unequivocally yes.
But Bret, let me just, ask you to expound on that, because, you've read the articles, and the Wall Street Journal has been writing and questioning whether or not you think they're too aggressive in all of this, but questioning whether OpenAI, which it feels like all roads lead to OpenAI, multi-billion-dollar deals, whether it's with NVIDIA or Oracle or CoreWeave, et cetera, there is some concern that you guys are not profitable just yet, and you, as the chairman of the boards are supposed to reel back in CEOs when they perhaps get a little bit too hyped up when it comes to, we got to strike a deal, we got to beat everybody else that's out there. So my question about that is, Bret, do you feel like you need to reel back in, not necessarily Sam Altman, but I guess exactly who you feel might be pushing this a little too quickly?
I am such a huge believer in the future of OpenAI. ChatGPT is becoming the front door to the internet and the front door to AI for consumers all around the world. I think a lot of the investments OpenAI is making really demonstrates the confidence we have in our revenue growth around ChatGPT, our API, our enterprise business, our agents like Codex. And I think the investment right now, the growth of the company is really limited by access to compute. And I think I'm really excited for the firm's commitment to building out the compute infrastructure for this AI cloud that we'll all come to depend on. There's a lot of uncertainty in the future. I think Sam's been really articulated about it. But I think OpenAI is defining the AI era, and I'm really confident in our investment decisions.
Glenn, I'll give you a crack at it, and then we got to run.
Oh. Well, I just wanted to say that if you think AI is all hype, this would be the best use case right here, where a customer is going to be able to live a different life and move to a home that they'd never considered because of this. And a company is going to be able to earn more money as a result. If that isn't proof in the pudding, I don't know what is. So this turned me into an even bigger fan of Sierra and OpenAI too, I guess.
Yeah, well, you're already seeing the benefits of it when there are more searches now because it's that much easier. Glenn, Bret, great to have you on. Thank you for breaking the story here.